everyone, how are we all doing? I hope you are doing very well. So as you may or may not know, I've been away for a week. I've been in Greece and it was so lovely. I had the best time. I actually cried a little bit on the way home because I just had such a good week. It was so fun. And now we're back and that feels really weird. It feels so odd when you go away for a week and you just come back and everything is the same and then you just crack on. And I've just travelled like 4 hours away by plane and come back and the world, like, it's still all the same. Anyway, I don't know what I'm on about, but I am back in business and I don't really know what I'm going to film in this video because I've come back off holiday and I don't really know what to do. Like, I know what to do, I know what I want to do, but I feel like it takes me a little while to get back into the swing of things. My hair's a mess as always. That's another thing, waiting on a haircut. I've booked it, so I've got a wedding and a hen do coming up and I'm trying to wait until then so it's nice and fresh so I can get a nice new cut. I've had it cut once since, but I don't really feel like she took too much off, to be honest. I went to someone I don't normally go to, but I need to get it recut again and also want to get it dyed because I'm not even blonde anymore. I think I said that in the last clip, but now my hair's just really bothering me because it just doesn't sit how I want it to and it looks really messy. So I'm so sorry. Hold on, I'm actually going to go grab my glasses. This is why I put my glasses on my head. I feel like this has become a signature look at this point. Like, I just always have glasses on my head, but this is why. Like, when it's down, it just really annoys me. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I don't really know. I know what I want to do, but when I come back off work, it takes me a while to get back into the swing of things. And I'm lucky enough to say next Friday, I'm on holiday again for a week in Cornwall. So I feel like I've only got about a week to get back into things and then you start winding it all down again and packing up for the week. So I'm really struggling to actually get back into it. So I thought, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a few bits that I'm doing and just tell you about my future plans, really, because while I've been away, I've been thinking and I haven't been working, but as I've been, if I was like sat by the pool with a nice cocktail, I was thinking things through. And I now have a few new ideas, a few things that I want to try and do, because with running a business, you try things and some things you might try and you may not like as much as you thought, or you get new ideas and then new ideas may not fit in with something else that you're doing, or you just simply have exciting new ideas that you're going to do as well. So I've been thinking loads of things through and I have a few new ideas that I want to do. So I've got some new products that I was drafting in my head on holiday. Some things I've already posted on Instagram, some ideas are still up here and I need to get them down on paper. I have another exciting thing that I have spoken about on Patreon that I really want to do that I think I'm going to say in this video. But yeah, this is basically going to be a little update video. Went to Greece, it was so lovely. We were in Rhodes and oh my god, it was so nice. Like, I feel like this is the first time I've properly gone away abroad whilst owning Quinn's pins. So last time I went was just before COVID and we went to Spain. It was the year before COVID and I had Quinn's pins, but I was still working at the cinema and it wasn't so much of a big deal for me to leave the shop for a week because, you know, sales kind of came in as and when. All I did really was just lengthen my dispatch time and that's all I really had to do. But I felt like I had a bit more responsibility this time on what I was leaving, and you know, I'm a bit more active on Instagram now, so I had to plan all of that to do. I didn't post as much as I thought I would, which I thought kind of would happen because once you're on holiday you tend to care less and actually you're able to relax, so that was still nice. But I did post a few times and I'd planned some posts that I was going to do. I lined up some TikToks and where I sell on my website and on the high street and Etsy, I just had to make sure that all of my dispatch times were up to date and all the customers were aware that I was away and things were going to take a bit longer. So I had all of that to do. So it was a nice time to reflect and to just chill and do nothing. And we went on a lovely excursion. We did a boat trip and we got to jump in the sea. But yeah, as I said, we're away in Cornwall next week. So we're only really back for 2 weeks and then we're off again. So I really want to get a certain few things done before I go away. And one of those things is to order some new products. But the thing is with me, when I'm ordering and designing new products, I just keep designing and then I'm like, wait, okay, I need to budget this accordingly. I can't make every single thing now. I wish I could, but you know, as a small business, I have a budget and I do reinvest a lot of my income back into the business, but as someone who is now a homeowner, I have a mortgage to pay, so I need to put it into my mortgage. I need a little bit of money for myself so that I can do some stuff over the month. I want to put something to my savings for the future, and then I also want to put it back into Quinn's Pins, so you know, I've got a lot for it to split up with. So yeah, I have a budget that I want to stick to, so I actually need to sit today and be like, right, what am I actually creating? So I will show you some bits that I have kind of designed, things I've got in mind. I know I definitely want to do some new sun catchers, but they're a bit easier to make because I make them at home here, so I don't need to get them ordered or anything. I can do that myself, so that's lovely. Definitely need to design some of those. So I'm going to do a little bit of designing. I will do that, and then I will come back and just tell you a little bit more of an update of some future plans. Okay, so I've done a little bit of doodling, as you would have seen. I need to actually, I'm going to print some bits out that I've designed, like I'm doing some new notepads and things like that. So, some things I'm looking to do in the future. So, whilst I've been away, I've been really thinking about, obviously I want to make some new products, which is what I'm doing. I'm not closing down, by the way, I'm making it sound really dramatic, it's not. But whilst I was away, I was talking to Dan, and me and Dan on my Patreon every month, it's not always with Dan, sometimes it's just with me, but a few times I've done a podcast on my Patreon, which I do every month, and a few times Dan has joined me and has really enjoyed it. And I was talking to him and we were discussing maybe doing a public podcast to put out on Spotify and all the listening places. So I did say this on my Patreon on my podcast that would have gone out a few days ago. I really would like to give it a try. I don't want it to be fully business based. I want it to be like a fun podcast that everyone can listen to, and obviously I want to discuss business things, and you know, I don't want it to be a business podcast. So, you know, me and Dan have been together 8 years. We obviously know each other very well. We both own our own business. We both live together. We both work in the same room. It's very early stages, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm really going to try for it too, because I know that he really wants to do it as well. And I'm thinking of doing it. I don't even know how it would go, but I would want some kind of business thing in there. So maybe every episode we discuss something to do with business, or like what it's like living together whilst running a business as well, or you know, something focused around that, but also having other stuff as well that could be quite fun. I feel like our niche is literally that we work together, we live together, we are a self-employed couple, and I just really want to give it a go. So I haven't planned any of that out yet, but I just wanted to put it out here that that's something that we might do. And another thing that I haven't discussed anywhere yet, but I think I am going to go ahead with it. I'm really not sure. I don't even know if to put this in. I might not put this in. So if you don't see it, then, well, if you're watching this, then I've decided to put it in. Hello, Ella from the future here. I'm just editing the video that you are currently watching, and I got to a bit where I was trying to explain something and it just wasn't coming out right. I was really nervous and I took so bloody long to actually explain it. The clip is like 15 minutes, so I don't know why I was being so dramatic. But now I've definitely made a decision and it's actually gone through. I'm just going to quickly explain it here because I feel so much better and it's going to be easier to explain it. Also, side note, I haven't got my glasses on and I haven't got my contact lenses in, so I actually cannot see. I don't want to put my glasses on because I get a weird glare. So if I'm randomly like, where's the camera? It's because I'm literally, I cannot see a thing. Anyway, so what I was trying to explain, which I don't even think I'm going to put the attempt in, I'm just going to chuck this in, is that I started up my Patreon in like late June, and I did it as a challenge to myself because I just wanted to see, you know, what extra bits I could create, extra content, and also just wanted to provide some more behind the scenes and saw other creators doing it, and I thought, why not give that a go, you know? The whole point of running this business is that I can do what I want to try, and if I like it I can carry it on, if I don't like it I can stop. I have the freedom to do that. So I started up in June and it all went very well. It was lovely. I had people on there, still do, very grateful for everyone that is on there. But whilst I was on holiday I didn't do any work, but I started thinking, like, while I was sat by the pool one day, I was like, okay, is there anything I want to change about my business? I've been feeling like, I'd been feeling quite stressed, but I didn't know, I guess I knew what was causing it, but I didn't actually allow myself to sit down and think about anything. So whilst I was away, I started thinking about it, and I've realised that Patreon was actually making me more stressed than I thought. So I love sharing stuff on Instagram, and I was very aware that on Patreon you are meant to, you know, you're sharing them extra behind the scenes, you're showing them things before you show anyone else. And I was actually really struggling because I didn't want to take anything away from Instagram, because that's not the point. You're meant to charge them for extra content. So I didn't want to take stuff away from Instagram, but I was just trying to find the stuff to put on there, and then I'd forget, and I'd want to share it on Instagram because I love talking on stories and sharing it all on there. So basically I was really struggling to find a balance, and some people are amazing at doing it, and maybe in the future I will be, but something just wasn't sitting right for me. And the way I explained it in the previous attempt of doing this is, you may or may not know, I had a clothing shop for a little bit called Lolly, and I just did a few designs on there, and I was doing that for a few months, and I was like, oh, the enjoyment isn't in it. Like, there's something, I don't feel right about this company, like the enjoyment isn't there like it is with Quinn's Pins. And I felt exactly the same way with Patreon. And so basically what I'm trying to say is I wasn't fully enjoying doing Patreon as much as I thought I would, and I was actually getting very stressed by it. And that's nothing against anyone that was on there, obviously, but I just felt more pressure that, you know, there were people on there paying for this content, and I was like, I started questioning everything I was doing basically, and I was like, is this even good enough? It was taking me so long to get something perfect, and I was just putting so much pressure on myself, and I basically just wasn't enjoying it like I thought I would. So I've come to the decision to stop my Patreon at the end of October. And in that video originally I was so nervous because I was like, am I even going to put this in? Am I going to do it? I don't know. But I have now confirmed that this is happening, and I've posted it to my patrons and let them know that at the end of October my Patreon will be closing. All the money I have received from that Patreon is going straight into Quinn's Pins. I'm not actually using any of it for myself. I'm going to use it to get some new YouTube equipment, and, you know, put it into some new products that will hopefully be coming soon. So, you know, it's good that I did it, and I'm glad that I did it for the experience, and now I know that it's not for me. And I thought I'd be really sad, and obviously I am, because it's like the end of an era, but I'm really proud of myself that I gave it a go. I'm proud of myself that people even signed up and that people were enjoying it. I was getting like private messages on there, on like DMs, and asking for certain things, which is so lovely. So what I've decided to do is some of the content that I did put on Patreon, I really want to get my newsletter starting back up again. I still use it, but just not as much as I would like to. So I'm going to put some stuff on there, like the sales tracker that I had. I'm going to put that onto my newsletter and basically move things around. So I'm basically taking the bits that did really well on Patreon and putting them out to the public. Either on my newsletter, or I'm hoping to do a podcast with Dan on Spotify. And I think I just really want to focus on Quinn's Pins and get back onto the Instagram game and the newsletter, because I did feel like I've slipped a little bit, and I know that's not the point of Patreon. Is meant to be an extra, and I was providing the content over there, but it didn't feel right. Anyway, I'm rambling on, but I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who did join my Patreon, and everyone who supports me, whatever you do, whether you're watching, subscribing, buying from me, following me on Instagram, commenting, liking, any of that. I'm very grateful, and I'm like, I can't actually believe people even signed up to that Patreon in the first place, and it's nothing to do with anybody on there. It's just myself. It just doesn't feel right for me. Maybe I'll start it up again in the future when it does feel right. It's not something I ever want to, like, I never want to do again. It's just something that right now I'm like, I felt like this with that Lolly, and I just took some of the clothing ideas that I had and put them into Quinn's pins. So I'm basically going to do that with Patreon and close that down. So that's what I was trying to say in that video. I think I'm just going to fully take it out because I was getting all rambly, I am now, but like nervous, and I was cringing at myself looking at how nervous I was talking. You could really hear it, so I just thought I'd come in. But enjoy the rest of the video. I don't know how much you've got left because I haven't edited it yet. Okay, bye. Okay, so it's a little bit later now. I had some boring stuff to do that ended up coming up, but very important but boring stuff. So I had to do that, but I'm just going to quickly show you what I ended up designing today. So I was actually hoping for doing a little bit more, but my brain was just not working. I don't know, I wasn't feeling creative, but I did manage to do 2 notepad designs and 2 prints. So I'm going to show you those. You would have just seen them like a little bit, but so I've made 2 notepad designs. These are roughs, obviously, so I've just printed them out myself and cut them. But I, as you may or may not know, with Quinn's pins, seem to love putting smiley faces on things. So I have used these smiley faces that I've put on my little thank you cards. I feel like this is just my style of faces. I've done a couple different styles, but I love this style of cute little face, and turned it into a little notepad, which I quite like. I'm quite happy with this one. This is what is this? A6. So I've done that. And I think I'm going to do this. This is early stages. Some of this stuff you might see and I might not make, but let me know what you think. I actually quite like this one. And then I've also made this one, which I've only got 2 checklist, like little notepads. So I thought I would make another one, but make it in a slightly different like style. So I've put hooray for a productive day on the top, and then just a little checklist here. And I've made the checklist little hearts, if you can see that, I don't know. I did have them as normal bullet points, but I thought hearts looked a bit cuter. And I actually think this is my favourite of the 4 things I've made. I'm really happy with that. I love the colours. I'm really liking lilac at the minute, and I'm aware that I haven't really done anything lilac like purple. So I wanted to throw a bit of that in there and just felt like this colour went really well. So there's that one. And then I have done 2 prints as well, which please bear with me. These are roughs and will look a lot nicer, and they're cut a bit dodgy, and I might brighten the colours up a little bit. I think my printer maybe just didn't print it out as bright, but it still looks pretty good. So I've done this one, which just says optimistic. Love this one. I think I'm just going to do them in A5 size. I've offered some A4 sizes in some of my prints, and still A5 seems to do the best. So I'm going to get this one in A5, I think, if I get these made. I'm like early stages. And then I love this one. It says treat yourself with kindness, with little hearts around it. Yeah, and it's like slightly, both of them are like a slight pink peachy colour. So there are the 2 prints and the notepads as well. But I have those. I have some pins, maybe key rings, depending on what I can get done. I'm not sure. But I have those, but I'm not 100% sure what ones I'm going to get done yet. So maybe I'll show you that in the next vlog, because hopefully I would have ordered them by then. So definitely going to have some new pins in the new shop launch, because they seem to be a favourite, and that's what my shop is named after. And what else am I doing? Oh, sun catchers. I really want to make some more sun catchers. I've made 1 design so far that I did yesterday, but again, I haven't printed them out today. So maybe I will do that in the next studio vlog. I'll show you the pins, I'll make some sun catchers, and whatever else I happen to come up with at the time. But that is pretty much all I have. As I said, I'm struggling this week to be a bit more productive. I mean, I feel like making 4 products is kind of productive, but I don't know, I'm struggling to get my head back into it. Yeah, I'm sorry if this was a bit shorter than usual, or if I didn't film as much, but I just wanted to get something out, and I think it was more of a chatty where I am with my business vlog and what I will be doing in the future. So if you did make it all the way through, thank you so much for listening, and head over to my Instagram. I'm sure I'll be confirming everything that I spoke about over there. And I've already said to Dan today that I would like to talk to him about doing the podcast thing, which he knows that we've been discussing about, and I've spoken about it today, and I'd actually really want to do it, so maybe we should start like planning that. So hopefully we have that to look forward to. I don't know when it will come around, but I'm going to put my all into that. I feel like that's my next big project, obviously after making products and stuff. my next big project is doing this podcast, so fingers crossed we get to do that. If not, just forget I said anything. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, whatever day you are watching this, and I will speak to you guys very soon. Bye.